Ang Wei Neng.
Chairman, the number of registered electric vehicles, or EVs, in Singapore jumped more than doubled from 1,397 EVs in year 2020 to 3,713 EVs in 2021 last year. Most of the individuals who bought the EVs are likely to stay in the landed properties due to the high cost of EVs and the ease of installing mid-range EV home chargers for about $2,500 at the comfort of their home. So can MOT shed some light on the demographics of the first wave of EVs buyers in Singapore? Before I proceed, I would like to declare my interest as I work in the transport industry. I have always maintained that whether EVs can take off in the mass market segment is dependent on whether we have sufficient public charging stations in Singapore. This is the chicken and egg situation. If we leave the market forces, few will be willing to install charging stations in large number. Thus, it's very important for Singapore to decisively incentivize companies to build EV charging facilities ahead of demand, like what the European countries and China have been doing. In particular, I would like to suggest 4 areas for MOT to consider. First, many commercial properties are not able to install fast charging stations at their commercial building, because these fast charging stations are needed by the large fleet owners, because they have to pay a high fee to build substation or upgrade the grid. So I would like to urge government to consider paying for the upgrading cost of the grid and the expansion of the electric substations. Second, to encourage the growth of EV mass market segment, the government can consider providing significant incentive for companies to install up to 5 charging stations at all HDB car parks that have sizable number of parking lots. Third, for condominiums, few MCST are successful in installing the charging station because they need to go through a long and tedious process to obtain the resident support. Could LTA work with MND to consider mandating all condominiums with sizable number of parking lots to install charging stations? Would it be possible for government to provide incentive for doing so, especially the early adopters? Fourth, would the government consider mandating all commercial properties, including shopping centres and malls, with sizable parking lots to install charging stations? After solving the supply side of installing charging stations, we need to provide incentive to increase the ownership of EVs, like what Norway and China have been doing. In Norway, almost 65% of all new passenger cars sold in 2021 were electric vehicles. How did Norway do it? The Norway government taxed internal combustion engine or ICE vehicles very heavily, but does not tax EV at all. So in Singapore, the various incentives for the early adoption of EVs can amount to $45,000, but only the more expensive EV models get to enjoy this maximum saving. To further encourage the adoption of mass market EVs, I would like to propose reducing the 20% excise duty of EVs with open market value of less than $30,000. The reduction in the excise duty should be inversely proportional to the EV's OMV, so that there will be bigger discount for a cheaper EV. This will prevent profiteering by EV distributors and make EVs more affordable to the masses. Thank you.